Welcome back, everyone. My name is Krysten Danielle, and I am here in partnership with Apolla Performance to give you my specialty class of body physics. This is the second of a three-part series focusing on beginner, intermediate, and advanced turns. In part one, we set our foundation for beginner level turns with laying down the building blocks for our alignment, body physics concepts, and working towards the goal of control. For part two, we will expand on that knowledge by increasing the tempo of our warm-up, in addition to adding more repetitions of the plie to releve, as well as increasing the number of positions we balance in. Do not forget your body physics concepts. Number one, keeping the knees direct over the toes during parallel positions. Focusing on the turning away of knees during turned out positions. Number two, keeping the belly button tightly pulled into the spine and the hip bones lifted up and connecting into the bottom of the rib bones. And number three, pushing down into the floor to go up as an action movement. Grab your Apolla shocks, some water, and your blocks, and let's get started.
Starting from the top of the head, begin to roll down and take 2 plies. Afterwards, roll up and then do 2 head rolls to the right and 2 shoulder rolls forward. Then repeat the roll downs with the head rolls going to the left and the shoulder rolls going backwards. Then we will go into 2 demi-plies, 1 grand plie, coming back up, extending into a flat back, rising up, lifting the arms going into a releve, pulling into a slow forced arch position, coming back to the releve with straight knees, and then lowering the heels down. Then we will go into our plie and pull into our right side passe balance. We're going to do this 4 times and then repeat it again on the left side. We will then take a flat back to stretch out the hamstrings, place the hands along the ground, take a nice deep plie, stretch the legs again, rolling up and returning back into parallel position. We will then return back to parallel and go into our right side passe. We're going to do 4 fondus and then 4 plie to releves. We will repeat on the left side and then go back again to our flat back to stretch the hamstrings, give a nice deep plie, and then rolling back up, returning into parallel. We will then go into our right side passe balance, arms in fifth, for 4 straight leg releves that will also be repeated on the left side. Next, we will be removing 1 block and pulling down to 1 knee. We're going to press up into our passe balance, take a nice plie, releve, and then pull back down to the knee. We're going to do this 4 times on the right and 4 times on the left. Each time you're attempting, make sure you're paying attention to pressing down through the heel, that we're pushing down to going up, that we're also utilizing our ability to pay attention to our armpits so that we're not leaning from side to side. Then we're going to come back to that right side to balance on releve, fondue, push back up into a releve, extending the leg into devant with a flexed foot, and then returning back to the knee. We're going to do this 4 times on the right and 4 times on the left. Each time thinking about sucking the heel down into the block for the fondue to engage the hamstrings and the glutes and maintain control.
Awesome job, guys. All right, let's take a quick break, grab some water, and then when we come back, we'll talk about the next portion of class. Welcome back, guys. So for this second portion of class, we will be focusing on our positions being turned out. Some of our key concepts for body physics to remember for turned out positions is that the knees should always be facing away from each other. We want to think of it as like a magnet that is in the opposite ends of each other, where no matter what we do, they are trying to repel and go away from one another rather than drawing towards each other. This also helps with our turnout in the top of the hips because the knees cannot rotate without that rotation coming from the top of the hips. Number 2 is that to continuously be pressing your turned out knee in those retiré positions back, back, back constantly. Not only this knee, but when you're going into your fondue, that we are also pressing the supporting leg knee back as well in space so that you're constantly creating this sense of energy and pressure moving backwards in space. And the last one is that you want to watch out for your armpits. You want to think of them as being in a vice, as though someone is holding you or lifting you up from underneath your armpits. This way, as we lean from side to side, which is a tendency when we're in turned out positions, we can constantly think that we want to keep that lifted. Alrighty, I think we are absolutely ready for this last portion of class. Let's do it.
remember for this aspect of the warm-up being turned out, that when we go into the retire positions, we're going to be traveling the foot from retire into the coupe for our fondus and then bringing it back up. So we're not going to leave it at the knee like we did in parallel. We constantly want to be pressing that knee back in space on both sides so that we're always utilizing the turnout. And again, we will find ourselves back with one block and to the knee. Make sure that we're adhering to our quasi positions for ballet and not allowing the foot to be too far open. We still want to honor this quasi line, especially for ballet.
Wonderful work, everyone. You did a fantastic job of getting through the basic side of the warm-up, adding in those additional tempo changes, as well as more plie to releves, changing into different positions while doing it, as well as transitioning into doing turned out positions as well. Make sure you hydrate, because we just did a lot. Also, this exercise, this warm-up, can be repeated over and over again. You can do it every single day to help build that muscle memory. That is what body physics was created for. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, my name is Krysten Danielle. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all under Miss Krysten Dance. Don't forget to check out Apolla Performance's Instagram, their TikTok, their Facebook, as well as their website to check out all the merchandise they offer for what you can do for your feet. Thank you again. It's Krysten Danielle. This is Body Physics with intermediate level turns. Have a wonderful day. Take care.